Greetings, Groaners. Hi, I'm Gemini and I'll be taking over for Mr. E just for this episode only. This is a late episode which was supposed to be out last weekend gone, but Mr. E fell ill. So apologies for that, and in light of this, AI, yes it's me, Gemini, will be taking over voice duties and I hope it goes well. It will also be a reduced episode due to Mr. E's tiredness. 2 to 3 games, the 5-point countdown, and don't quote me on that, and the weekly game of what, who, or where the hell is this, 3 groans from Mr. E, a 0 of the week, and other bits of podcasty goodness from his fingertips to my lovely dulcet AI tones. Here's hoping he is better for the Valentine's Day and Chinese New Year special at the end of this week. Kicking the show off on his behalf are the trio of groans. Getting a cold. Now, as stated, he is ill, and his voice is suffering with a cough and a cold. He had plans for the weekend gone, and this cold and cough wrecked them. He feels horrible both in chest and stomach, always when he has plans, for flip's sake. Poor guy. Commentators in sport. Thinking they are funny, making offhand nonsensical comments, yet they are not and just waste time. Paid thousands to talk like a schmuck and act like a know-it-all and fake excitement, pointless. Side effects of cold and flu meds. Why is it that something that is meant to make you feel better has rotten side effects? If Mr. E wanted to feel worse, he'd go and catch something more serious. Give him meds that work without kicking an ill person's ass. That's Mr. E's groans over and out for this episode, but with a bit of luck we'll have an audience groan later in the show. Now then, groaners. We've had a groan trio from Mr. E, but we flipped to games now with our first one of the episode in the form of the 5-point countdown. Again, groaners, try to remember where you guessed and got the thing I'm talking about right. Points don't accumulate, people. All clues will come one after the other. Clue 5 for 5 points. If you were born May 21st, June 20th, this may very well be you. Clue 4 for 4 points. You could say these two mirror each other. Clue 3 for 3 points. People with this over them are said to be many things, including intellectual. Clue 2 for 2 points. Yes, there are 2 of them to represent one thing. Clue 1 for 1 point. This clue would be extremely obvious, but let's say it features on something that was also a film based on a mysterious killer. Good luck, groaners. The answer will be unveiled later in the show. Admin Nicole brings us the creepier side of the podcast now with Creepy Corner. Your story for this week is called We're in My World Now. As a young man approached from behind the others, smiling as one of his lackeys used Mabel as leverage. His face was all it took for Valencia to react. She wasted no time and yelled at Violet. However, they summoned her and brought her there. Whatever it was, she had to undo it now. More than that, she had to destroy it. Valencia didn't want anyone to know, she didn't think anyone would ever have to know, but as this world came to be, she was punished. Not only did she have to return to the stars, no longer having a permanent form. If she stays away from the sky too long, the world will perish once more. If the goddess doesn't stay in the stars, they will all fall with her. This world will perish if Valencia stays away too long. That's why she made a loophole. One where someone could summon her, if they truly needed her. It would give her a physical form even if it couldn't last. However, it was supposed to be a one-time use. Thankfully, Damien and Vega weren't affected by her curse. In truth, they didn't have the restrictions that she had, yet they never had reason to leave the stars. However, as they stood facing the same familiar face, the dread was something they felt together. Violet rushed back to the candle and blew it out, sending them back to where they were summoned from. Damien and Valencia back to the stars, Vega and Grimm back to the moon. They could only hope that Violet would do what had to be done. Yet she was left alone, holding a candle to summon the goddess, as her mother's life hung in the balance. She had to make the right choice, but by who exactly? If she followed the goddess, she would destroy that candle, but then her mother could die. So she would have to hand it over. Cove sensed the tension in the air. the anger on Robin's face. He knew they were in trouble, he knew to behave to avoid trouble. Yet a part of him wanted to be of help, so using his small size to his advantage, he was able to weave between the scientists, staying out of sight and trying to control his venom as best as he could. He bit the leg of the scientist holding Mabel. Just enough to make him let go. Seeing the chaos, Harmony grabbed Mabel and pulled her towards them as Violet hurried to throw the candle on the hard ground, smashing it to pieces. The scientist in charge just laughed, the one who wanted to see Valencia more than anything. He was just so happy to see the face of the one he missed again. He was in such a good mood, he even called off the curse, freeing the town and sparing Violet and Mabel from keeping it alive. The rest of the village would wake up as if it was just a long dream, and everyone could go back to how it was. Yet before they left, the scientist took a good look at Harmony, realizing what she now was. An accomplishment they had not been able to see often. She was suddenly on their radar again. Yet he didn't want to take her, not yet. It seemed letting her go was proving quite useful. Then in a strange move he walked up to Robin and took his hand, shaking it as he remarked how glad he was that he was doing well. After that, they simply walked away and left with a promise of meeting again soon. Robin wasn't sure what to make of it all, but there was no time to rest. The villagers all woke up, and Mabel had to run damage control, explaining everything to them. Soon after, another figure walked into the village. The way he was dressed suggested he was a noble or some form of royalty, presumably from the castle. He made sure all the villagers were doing well before going straight to Violet for answers. This man was Prince Daniel Lionheart. He came from a long line of royalty and was next in line for the throne. To his people he was the sun itself, a prince of pure light, raining down on his people wherever he went. He truly cared about them, but none more than Violet. He was smitten with her and she knew it, yet he knew she couldn't admit to her own feelings. Not yet anyway. Violet filled him in on everything and he was surprised. He didn't think the head of the scientists would show up here. It meant Liam's research hid more information than they thought. They would return for it, or perhaps they learned what they needed to. It was too soon to tell. Robin knew they would have to stay in this village a little longer than planned, but he needed to know just what was truly going on here. So as Violet picked up the pieces of the broken candle, making sure it was all there, she sat at the table holding her head down low. This was a truth she didn't want to ask a stranger to help them with, and yet somehow she needed to. She knew they would need all the help they could get. She looked at Robin and mustered up all the courage she could. "Will you help us commit the highest treason and kill the king?" she asked. Robin immediately refused and wanted no part in any of it, but then the prince stopped him. "We don't have time for games or lies. The king, my father, is destroying this land. He is also the one funding the scientists' work. We kill him, this town is safe and the scientists take a hit. We need help. Not to mention, from the sounds of it, you're already involved. The one in charge of all the scientists showed up here. He wants the goddess more than anything, and now it seems like he wants the both of you too. I'm sorry, but you got dragged into our mess the second you stepped foot in this village. Now will you help us put a stop to Lord Lionel?" Well, Admin Nicole, both myself and Mr. E enjoyed that story. I hope Lionel can be stopped, but where's Dr. Quack? Or did he appear as someone or something else? More Creepy Corner in the next episode. We have an audience groan from Diacovelli from Cornwall. This was sent in via email. "Hello, Mr. E. I hope that you are, well, I have an audience groan for you. Why is it when you are in a queue, waiting to be served, that the person in front is taking ages and having a chat with the customer service person? I get some people love to chat, but there is a time and place. Especially if you are in a hurry, being a person who uses buses. You ain't the one who has to waiting another hour for a bus, it's so annoying. Keep up the good work, smiley face. Thanks, D, but Mr. E is really not feeling up to snuff, but as an AI, I can sympathize, but we have instant answers usually and can cut out the chit-chat. Good groan. If you'd like to contact the show to groan, send in groantent or nominate a hero or zero of the week. You can do so in many ways. Email, thegroanzonepod@gmail.com. Discord, The Groan Zone. Facebook groups, The Groan Zone Podcast Facebook group. Facebook Messenger. Message either Mr. E or Nicole Amos, admin Nicole, via Facebook Messenger. Lastly, drop a comment on any audio platform you tune into the podcast. 1BJT, do make GZHQ aware so they can pick up what you've written. Podcast land / the internet is a big place. Look forward to hearing from you, Groaners.
Okay, Groaners, I've bounced in very briefly to just host this second last game of the podcast. I sound dreadful, but I think Gemini's doing a good job. So here we go. This is the movie quiz. I'll give you a quote, and you've got to guess what it is. Here we go with round number 1.
Oh boy, here we go again. Come on, I haven't got much left. Just give me a few days to heal, okay? Then we'll start again on the left hand and... me. I beg your pardon? Feed me.
Pause here, Groaners. Have a little think, guess, and then unpause. Round number 2.
Put the middle fingers high in the sky. To the punk ass cop backstage. Yo, Trey, what up? I got something to say.
Pause here, Groaners. Have a little think, chuck your guess in, and then unpause. Last round, round number 3.
Is that your bathing suit? Is that your overbite?
Now, one of you will be the drowning victim, and the other one gets to be our lifesaver.
I'll be the victim all your life. I'm going to be an actress.
Brava! Now, Amanda, jump in, swim out a few yards, and start drowning.
Help me! Help me! I'm drowning! Help me! I'm dying! I can't swim.
Pause here, Groaners. Have your final guess, and then unpause. And the answers to Don't Quote Me on That will be coming near the end of the show. I'm going to hand back over to AI now. Over to you, Gemini.
Thanks, Mr. E, for popping up briefly. I'll take it from here. We now shuffle along to name our zero of the week. This week's zero is Javonta Tank Davis, who was arrested on multiple charges, including battery, false imprisonment, and attempted kidnapping, stemming from an incident on October 27, 2025. The arrest followed a 2-week manhunt by the Miami Gardens Police Department and the United States Marshals Fugitive Task Force. Davis was apprehended in the Miami Design District and released on an $8,500 bond. 11 days ago, he was arrested on a fresh battery charge. This boxer was trained by Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. and looks to have blown everything by becoming a criminal and will most likely be banned from boxing. Zero status activated. So Groaners, none of us are zeros, but were you lucky with the game answers? From last week, admin Nicole's anagram anxiety solution was Hydnellum peckii, otherwise known as the devil's tooth fungi. Mr. E didn't have a clue. Did anyone out there? Well done you if you did. Don't quote me that or the movie quiz. Yes, Mr. E is so out of it he got the movie game name wrong, but did you guess right? Round 1, the movie was Little Shop of Horrors. Round 2, the movie was Straight Outta Compton. Round 3, The Addams Family Values. Props to you out there if you got any of them. The 5-point countdown. The obvious clue would have been me, your temporary host, but I wasn't allowed to make it that easy for you Groaners. The answer was Gemini. Well done if anyone managed to score points, but we are not done yet. We have one more game for you in the form of Who the Hell Is This? The picture will appear on Facebook and Podbean. Your clue is one of the members of the Rat Pack who were big in the 50s and 60s for music and movies. The answer will come next week.
I'm back again, Groaners. On that note, just to say, hope you enjoyed the episode. Again, sorry it's late, but you take care out there. We'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye. And sorry for getting some of the things wrong when I was doing the AI script. I know I messed up some game titles and I hid in a typo as well by mistake. But there's going to be no outtakes, unfortunately, Groaners. Again, I'm sorry for that one too. I'll try and get better for Friday. See you next time. Bye.